In the manufacturing arena, I think it's very exciting what's possible with IoT devices, for instance, on the shop floor. I work a lot with manufacturing execution systems and ERP systems and how they kind of interplay, and also quality management. So an agent could basically go through quality checks, something gets out of tolerance, make an adjustment, and basically those are all the kind of the grunt things, that are going on the shop floor. So the system, the AI agent, can make course corrections based on quality data. Let's say something's getting out of tolerance, adjust the machine, things like that. That's not what you want the human doing, right? You don't want the human down there looking at the machine and saying, this is the readout that I'm getting from the machine, adjust the machine this way. What you want to do is have the human look at patterns that even an AI agent can give you patterns, right? So it can produce a report of the today and what's out of tolerance and where it's out of tolerance, which machines, things like that. And then a human, a design engineer, somebody like that looking at the process can redesign or look at the whole process and make changes in how a product is made, for example. I think that that's a really nice way of kind of marrying the capabilities of both of those types of people and keeping the creativity of the human. But the human is at this level looking at the whole process and saying, we need to redesign this product to be run more efficiently, for instance.
I see it very similar. I see it are like layers right now coming on validation. We need layers of validation and fine tuning, constantly enhancing, or if everything is correct, because you need someone who is saying, oh, this production is from the robotic coming in this way. And then you say, there is a little failure there. And now we have the same similar system, but it needs someone who is fine tuning and validate that. I think that will be amazing job for some people, are really to be diving deep and saying, here we can a little bit like this is the great news for manufacturer companies, because manufacturer companies have in the years optimized their processes always a little bit. I always use the Porsche engine, one of the best engines in the world in the car. Why? 100 years fine tuning, every time a little bit better, and this is what will happen. So for experts, this will be great. You can make a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great for recruiting, right, Sevi? I mean, you get into this in manufacturing. I mean, there's a serious skill shortage.
Yes.
Yeah.
In manufacturing that existed way before agents. It's something that's been out there for a long time, and this is a way of dealing with that, skill shortage, and also upskilling people. So that might be another thing you guys might be interested in, is upskilling in your workforce. And how do you change them from being somebody who's just grunt looking at results and entering things to interpreting things and designing new things?
Yeah, absolutely. How you see that? Because there is not when we have a lot of people, and sometimes you need people. They are not as good as others to bring the dots together. But this is the future, bringing the dots together. How you see that the challenge? How you can bring that to some persons? Otherwise, they will be extinct, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think
so there's hope for us old guys.
Exactly. Well, it's like reshifting the responsibilities, right? At the end of the day, like I think a lot of these with agents coming into play, they're taking over more of the mundane work, and then having experienced professionals, especially in the manufacturing side, as you mentioned, Dan, is critical to be able to make use of it, because AI agents they aren't making sense of like the why behind the bigger picture. They are just simply delivering the information, the insights. It's up to leadership to execute on those insights, create actual long-term strategy, data-driven decision-making from that,
Yes.
and actually use it, right? So I think, when it comes to human creativity and judgment, it's going to be, I think, more important than ever to have folks like actually know how to make sense of all this different information that can be easily accessed now because of AI.
Yes, absolutely. It's a critical time right now for making real good leadership decisions.
Hmm.
Because if you are coming too late, it's over. I don't know who said that our famous word, but our life will punish you if you come too late. And this is for a company. You cannot say, oh, maybe next year we should do a little bit in our company, because you have to learn. It's not like you implement the process instantly and it works for you. Yeah. But if not, you will be gone because it's so fast. This is amazing. So you have to make these decisions top down as a priority, and some people don't understand still. They think, oh, yeah, this is a hype. This is not a hype.
And you know,
Absolutely.
it's ever changing. It changes so fast. I mean, you know, probably this time last year we were talking about how you don't need to be a programmer anymore coming
Yes.
out of school. You need to be a prompt engineer,
Yeah.
right? Now you don't need to be a prompt engineer because that's obsolete with an agent, right? An agent is that you tell it English, you tell it English and you say, here's your task,
Yes.
go out and book my reservation.
Yes.
You've got complete autonomy. So where is the programmer in that?
Yeah.
It's making inferences and it's not following any kind of programmatic instructions or anything like that.
Well, that's exactly right, Dan. And and I'll be clear to everyone. My expertise in AI is not anywhere close to the three of yours. I'm more of an operational person, but I mean, I sometimes wonder. I mean, we're talking about what the possibilities are, and Dan's mentioning about programming. I mean, now all you have to do, or it's getting close to the point, all you have to do is ask your ERP system, uh, how many parts do I have that are under X on stock, and it immediately gives it to you.
Yeah.
You don't need as much programming as we used to need, but I'll tell you one of the things that really concerns me, and you mentioned us old guys, Dan. I'm afraid
Well, not Sevi, but
no, not Sebi. He's the young fella. No question about that.
Young fellow, that's true.
That's very true. But
or Nicholas.
again, the joke about we were talking about Mr. Schwarzenegger or the Governor. At what point do we get to the everything like it is in those movies, like Terminator, where they actually do the thinking for us?
In my opinion, are absolutely, Andy. In my opinion, this is right now moving a little bit from our discussion in a different direction, and I don't know if we should do that. But our point is, a lot of the problems that we have today cannot be solved any longer from one person, one country, one government.
Right.
Yeah.
And so maybe AI gives us much better decision processes for the future, because it's so complex. It's so many things that we cannot handle that anymore. And so this I can see, but you see, I see a lot of companies coming back to really what companies should do. I see a lot of companies, when we talk to them, they still sit in their car. They have a navigation system, but they use maps. And it's and I always say, hey guys, you have a navigation system. Why you don't use that? You see? And so I strongly believe people have to forget what they have learned. It is complete. It is good to know, but we have to erase that in some form, because we need an open new mind to this. This is changing. This is really radically changing everything. And um, this is radical. I think we have so many radical changes in the last couple of years. Think about COVID and forget if it was a sickness and all the mistakes has been done. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how COVID has changed the behavior of people. This is changing radically too, because there will be people not needed anymore. Yeah, what we do with these people.
Well, about 5-6 years ago, I was in Las Vegas, and I asked for Uber, and they asked me, "Are you okay if it's an autonomous vehicle?" And I went, "Yeah, sure." So they came up, and my goodness, how long ago was that a dream? But now you see people, women putting their makeup on while they're driving on the freeway because they don't need to be watching the road anymore, or men actually falling asleep. So at what point do we become useless?
It's an interesting point, and I think the principle remains the same when it comes to like any digital transformation project, which is change management and understanding why we're doing what we're doing. So in digital transformation, right, it's always about relearning, unlearning, and learning new skill sets. But it now with AI and agentic workflows, we have to apply the same principle and constantly like, take that feedback and review it as well.